All praise is due to Allah the Almighty, the one whom it pleases to beautify whomever He chooses with the acceptance of Islam. Whoever Allah abandons to Himself, all the beauty in Islam is nothing but ugliness in His eyes. We thank Allah for His favor on us. No religion or system in the world has made the distribution of inheritance as fair and thorough as Islam has done. Not to say, is there any system that has done it better than Islam? It is sufficient to say, is there any system that has done it as justly as Islam has done it? The Quran enjoins, firstly, that the distribution of inheritance be made as quickly as possible, so that those entitled to property are not caused to suffer unjustifiably while waiting for their share of inheritance. And as the case usually happens, when distributing inheritance is delayed, it is not likely that the property will be found intact after a few years. The Quran enjoins that both male and female among children and relatives be given what they are entitled to, which is contrary to what used to be the norm among the Arabs. Their tradition despised women so much that women were considered part of property to be inherited, not people to be given a share of property. It is Islam, over 1,400 years ago, which came to teach mankind that women also deserve to be given a share of inheritance. In Europe, as much as they claim that they taught the world civilization, giving women the right to inherit came much, much later than when Allah revealed it to Muslims in the Quran that women should be given part of the inheritance. This is why we say our sisters who are so ignorant of Islam that they think they need to look up to the West to liberate them, they display stark ignorance. Do they want to be liberated from Allah or from His Messenger? They need to be liberated from their ignorance. And the only thing that can liberate them is to go and learn their deen. Ibadallah, we mentioned that only valid reasons, very, very cogent reasons, can justify delaying the distribution of inheritance, such as if one of the heirs, one of the people that are entitled to inherit the deceased, has not been traced to be able to confirm whether he is dead or alive. We may require a little time to do that confirmation before the inheritance is distributed. So is the case when the dead person has left debts, loans which he was not able to settle in his lifetime, or wills, a will which he wrote in respect of certain individuals that he would like them to be given a share of his property upon death. The Sharia says wills must not be written in respect of people who are entitled to inheritance. So if a deceased person writes a will in respect of any of his children or any of his wives or anyone entitled to inheriting him, such a will is null and void. It will not be executed. And even the executable will, we must not execute beyond the limit set by Allah, which is 1/3 of the property. So, taking time to ascertain how much loan the dead person has and how much he has willed out may require that the distribution of the inheritance is delayed a little. So is the case if one of the wives is pregnant. The scholars say if there is no need to hasten the distribution, it may be wise, to wait a little until the pregnant woman is delivered of her baby to be sure whether it's a male or a female, so that the appropriate portion is given that child. Circumstances which traditionally are considered justification for delaying the distribution of inheritance may not be acceptable to the Sharia, such as when people say the reason they've not shared the inheritance of so and so is that one of the children is still in the elementary school, or one of them is still an undergraduate. We want him to graduate before we share it. What is the relationship between sharing inheritance and a child being in school? When Allah says, وَابْتَلُوا الْيَتَامَى إِذَا بَلَغُوا النِّكَاحَ, test orphans when they have reached a marriageable age. Allah said, test them when they reach marriageable age, such that if you find them sound in mind and intelligence to be able to collect their share of an inheritance, give it to them. So Allah prescribes that even little children who are not yet able to control their wealth, their share of inheritance be given to someone who will look after it for them. So it is not to be delayed until when they mature. It is to be shared, then to be looked after by any relative that is trusted with amana, with honesty to look after it for them. This is what Islam prescribes to make sure the right of every person goes to the owner and that no one is treated unjustly. Abiolong Oba, awala wala yitan sọ̀rọ̀ nínú èyí, ìjọ tí ó kan ẹnìkan kan Ọlọ́run Ọba nìkan ló mọ̀. Abiolong Oba yìí pé ìṣẹ̀mí ire ni k'Ọlọ́run fún wa ṣe o. Ìjọ t'Ọlọ́run ó bá pè wá sọ́dọ̀, ikú ire ni k'Ọlọ́run fi pa wá. Ká bá Ọlọ́run Ọba pàdé lẹ́ni t'Ọlọ́run Ọba ń yọ́nú sí. Abiolong Ọba, dúkìá pọ̀ ní o, ó kéré ní o, èyí t'Ọlọ́run bá fún wa, k'Ọlọ́run jẹ́ kó lálùbáríkà. Olórí àlùbáríkà náà ni pé kárẹ́sì ṣe. Bẹ́sìn wá ṣe lè wá wù kó dáa tó, Abiolong, àwọn ọmọ tí ó bá wa ṣẹ̀sìn, àwọn aya tí ó bá wa ṣẹ̀sìn ní k'Ọlọ́run fi kẹ́ wa o. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik, ashhadu an la ilaha illa ant, astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.